All right, this is CopyWho, and I am your host, Paul, the producer. Yeah, looky up there, looky up there. Oh yeah, he's gotten it. Finally, I've gotten it. Yeah, and a boom. I finally did something right on here. Can you believe that? I was doing a really great thing before I started right now. Oh, major bumps. But I think everything's ready to go. I was doing this thing where I was walking back and forth and very passionately giving myself a pep talk before I start. And I'm going to tell you guys now pretty much what I was doing before I started. I'm loving all the affectations of everything I'm working on. It's all coming together more nicely. I need to fix these really quick, though. Little imperfections like that. There's this part of me that doesn't even want to have a microphone and headphones here anymore. Like, I'm trying to think of how I can eliminate that. I'm like, should I have a microphone hanging in, picking me up when I'm talking? I do like being able to get close to a microphone like this, though, because it's an effect, see? But anyway, I'm pacing back and forth before I started here, and you know what I was saying to myself as I'm doing this? I'm like, okay, I'm giving myself a pep talk, and I'm like, okay, right now we're doing this recording, and all the hard work I'm putting in outside of the actual recording itself, it's supposed to all pour into this moment, and this is supposed to be the best fucking moment, okay? And so I'm getting myself all pumped up. You seem irritated, Paul. I'm not irritated. I feel really good about it. I'm just saying that all of that fucking extra work is moot if I don't bring it here right now. So it's like for an hour I got to deliver, and it may annoy some people. If that's not your style, you need to go away. You need to hang. This is a hang. So I'm like posting these Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And if you dig it, you just hang out while I do it, okay? What I'm trying to do is to show up during the premieres so that I can interact with people. I'm not doing a live show at this time. Eventually, someone might talk me into wanting to do that. But right now, I'm just putting up the premiere, and I'm showing up for the premiere so that if people are chatting, I will be there. But this is a hang, okay? If you like what I'm doing, it comes live, or you listen to it later and you can just hang and do busy work in your house while you do it. Subscribe to the channel because I'm trying to become more and more interesting. So what I want to do here is today I have a special video I'm going to play. I think the title of the segment is called Marijuana Radio Retro, what is it? Retro Theater. So I just took this this photo set we did together before it all broke up way back in the day, and I made some narration to it to be silly, to be fun, to look back at it, to think about it, and it turned out pretty good. And so what I want to do is during shows, I want to try as often as possible to have an original piece that I can play for you guys, a piece that's produced here. So it's not just me coming on and doing a live show, doing commentary of other things, which is certainly what I want to do, especially talk about manosphere stuff. Anything of interest to me. I really put no limitations on myself about what I'm able and willing to talk about here. But what I want to do on every show is have eventually I need to figure out how to accomplish this because it takes work. I want to figure out how to have pieces that are produced, and then we sit and we watch them together here, and I will have commentary on them here, and I will also post them up individually to be viewed. But so this marijuana radio video today is exactly that. It gives you a little snapshot of my past. There's a little bit of retro in that, which I like, and it's from today's perspective, thinking about those guys. And so I'll play that after we do the Rise. That's the first thing I'm going to do after we do the Rise in just a little bit. But I do have some silly shit. It's actually 6:34 a.m. in the morning. I woke up a little before 4 o'clock today, and I'm like, if I want to do this show, I need to get up and do it because otherwise later on I'm going to get tired. And so also, as I was doing my pep talk before, I'm like running back and forth. And I'm serious, pacing right along the side here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm running along this side of this desk here, and I'm saying, I got to do a good job, and since I woke up early, I got to give all my energy to this right now. And it's true. I completely am I'm trying, as you can hear me now, I'm trying to give you all of my passion, and just like, it's a little bit performance art, it's a little bit passion, all of these things. You know, I'm so obsessed with every single detail. Do you know, it's like even what I wear now is an obsession. I'm buying more t-shirts. This t-shirt is Rip Magazine. And I'm just showing you that because this is a heavy metal magazine I read. A lot of 80s hair bands came through and were featured in this magazine. And so, therefore, it's all about the Sunset Strip, right? So here is a documentary about the Sunset Strip. It features a whole history of it, all the way from back in its beginning, when it was like still farmland, all the way developed up through different eras of history with interesting stuff like, what is the Fab Four. It was Sammy Davis Jr. used to perform at certain clubs that no longer exist on the Sunset Strip. It has a history before even hair metal band came to it. And so it's a very special, nostalgic place for me. And I'm always trying to tie the t-shirt in with what's playing on the TV. Of course, I have been calling that Tracy Lee Samsung Theater. That's what it is, whatever spins on there. Okay, and most of the time you can't even see what's down there. Like, I get that. It makes sense to me. It's totally blocked off. See that? You can barely see it. And it's so like, is there a point to that? I don't even know. Is there a valid point to that? I do not know. But as far as I know, I'm off to a good start today. I hope this continues because I'm feeling pretty good. And did I finish? So I bought this t-shirt. It's Rip Magazine. And it's, yes, I did talk about that. So I'm aware on the last show that I confessed that lately I've been having some occasional marijuana edibles. And oh gee whiz. I'm very aware that it has changed my energy and the way I'm manifesting during my performance, during the show. I'm totally aware of that as I watch it. I'm like, oh, I can tell that I'm different. I'm not expressing myself in the same way. I'm not sharp in the same way. And it alters my humor a little bit. And I haven't done it high. That's the thing. I have not come on here high because I would suddenly, you would very much be able to tell. I just know that my demeanor has changed when it's still in my system. I'm not quite acting entirely like my sober self. And eventually what I want to tell you is, even though lately I have been doing that, I know I'm going to get sick of it because I always do. And I'm already getting sick of it because it's throwing my sleep out of whack. That's why I woke up a little before 4 o'clock today. I know that was why. And so eventually I'm going to get rid of this thing again. But I so recognize the pros and cons of marijuana on so many levels. So I'm glad that I'm not smoking it. I'm glad I'm eating it because smoking, it's just horrible what it does to the body. What the pros and cons are a long list of all sorts of things, but the creativity has been nothing short of amazing. It's like, certainly there are types of creativity. It's given me this drive. I'm staying up late at night and I'm like tweaking things that you see behind me and just dialing this and that and the other thing in, the exposure better, the shots better, understanding my computer better, understanding my setup better. This video I made today, I was so obsessed about getting certain details right. I was like, I don't like the wording here. I don't like the wording there. Because I wanted it to be kind of like an entertaining, cohesive piece. I even got up this morning and did extra voiceovers and mixed it down and uploaded it to YouTube for the third time because I was just not happy with what I had up there before. And so I really am a major perfectionist in this way. Pros and cons are like, when I'm around people, I don't connect as well. Personally, I feel more distanced from people, but it gets me in a zone. Like I'm sitting there in the kava bar and my head is in my computer and I'm doing what I'm doing. And people, it's like I just zone the entire world out. It's like I was more social before, but now that I've been doing this, I get on and I'm creative. Yesterday, I just played this video that I'm playing to you guys today in the kava bar. I sat and watched it over and over again, and I think I wound up making 3 little changes on it. And so that is what I want to do. I want to somehow come here as often as I can. I would like to say once per show, but as often as I can with an originally produced piece and present it to you guys, somehow tying into my past, my history, what I'm doing here, entertaining on some level. I'll say more about that after I play this video that I have for you today. So I am aware that marijuana has changed my energy here. And like I said, eventually I'm going to quit again. I don't know when that is. It usually comes down to a moment where like I'm feeling personally fed up. And I do have moments like that. There's a restlessness that starts to set in where you're chasing the high instead of getting the high. And then you're suddenly like a slave to it. And I'm not quite there yet. But as soon as I start feeling like a slave, I start thinking about quitting. And it would even be good for me to take a break from the kava bar. I swear, I was there 7 days in a row last week, and I didn't drink kava every time I was there, but I was editing most of the time. It's a good way for me to get focused on editing and doing certain production work. So much of it is related to this show right now. Golly, I have a lot of silly things to say right now. So on a totally unrelated... let's change the tone here, right? On a totally unrelated note, I noticed something interesting this morning, which is scatological in nature and pointless to you, and it might also be part of the byproduct of a stony mind that comes to you doing this, wanting to provide such silly shit, elevated silly shit that either makes you giggle or makes you think on some level. But anyway, I'm going to make my morning protein shake. And I'm thinking to myself, why does the sound of pouring almond milk in the blender remind me of the sound of diarrhea hitting inside the toilet? And so I'm analyzing it in my head, and I'm coming up with reasons, and it's true. It's just scatological in nature, and I really don't want you to think about diarrhea, but it's just true. It's the topic I was thinking about. So I come here with it to talk to you about it, to make it as deep as possible, something so silly. The sound of pouring almond milk into the blender, swishing around in that confined area, is the same sound as when your ass is spewing diarrhea in the toilet in that confined area. And that's the point. It's the surroundings. It's the physics. It's the sound of water splashing in water in a confined little area there. So it has a certain tonal quality. I just wanted to bring it up to you. It's scatological in nature, but it made me think a little bit. Did it not make you think a little bit? Yes, I'm energetic. I'm not on any drugs at the given moment. I'm just on nervous energy. I didn't sleep enough, and I'm getting all this out now. And I'm telling you, it's not a joke. When I say I'm walking around pumping myself up, it is not a joke. It is really, it's something to behold. I'm a strange individual, and I come over here to this, and I want to show you this, though, before I cut this shot back. I added that little lightning bolt underneath there, and I love that. And so it's going to have to do. I've improved this look a little bit. It's blue, like if I make it all red behind, suddenly the blue lightning bolt turns white. And I don't like it. I don't want the blue lightning bolt to be white. I bought a blue one to have a blue one. So I retooled the lighting behind there so you get a little bit of red on the right side, a little bit of blue on the left side. And the blue on the left side accentuates the blue, believe it or not, of the neon underneath there. And so this is filling in. It's getting better. It's feeling more complete. If you go back and look at videos from like 6 months ago, what I was doing here, seriously, it's a trip how much it's evolved, because I didn't have this second shot here. I started out with the TV, and this second shot, there was like nothing on the wall behind me here. And I've gone bananas, ape shit bananas, producing something here. But it has to be more than a visual. So I'm telling myself, this is part of what I'm telling myself, like, it has to be better. So it can't all just be about the production, right? So I have to have the creative ideas, and that ties in again to making the original produced pieces here, giving the show more character that comes straight from me. Oh yeah, so obsessed I am with stuff. I've been changing my clothes before doing the show like Madonna. So I'm buying new t-shirts, I'm buying new coats, and I'm trying this shirt with that coat, and it's like, I'm obsessed. I'm like Madonna. I'm shallow like fucking Madonna. Okay? And it's because, so I'm trying to always have cool colors in the shirts. I'm trying to look at how the shirts, so I have this purple button-up shirt, and I'm like, I can't do purple with all this background. Purple just does not look good on here. Certain colors do. Red and blue happen to look good on here. White and black happen to look good on here. I think gray looks good on here. But I seriously changed my clothes like 3 times before today. I'm like, okay, no, we'll go with the rip shirt, and we'll have the long sleeve underneath, and it's cool enough for me. I can dig it. I can. I want to fill you in. This isn't just, it's not merely an ongoing bit. This is my obsession in life. Whenever I hear people say etc., I'm like, cringe. I hate it when you fuckers say etc. So every time I do hear it, I feel compelled to say something, at least to myself. I'm like, ew, yucky, etc. It's etc. It's Latin. It derives from Latin. It is two different words in Latin. E-T space C-E-T-E-R-A, etc. If I go to my deathbed, it's going to be knowing that I set people right. Let's practice it right now. Let's say it together right now. Right this minute. Say it with me. Etc. When you go da-da-da-da-da, etc. You say, I like bands like Motley Crue, Van Halen, Poison, etc. Do you see how that works? Etc. Beautiful. It flows so nicely when it's said correctly, but when I hear ek, it's like you get stopped. It's like you have an obstruction in your mouth. It's a roadblock in your mouth. You're saying ek instead of et. It sounds more beautiful when you say etc. When you say ek, k, it's not a pretty sound when you say ek. Say etc. Etc. I like that. Okay, I know I obsess on that here. I keep coming back to that because every time I hear someone say it in my life, here's the deal, here's the promise. Every time I hear someone say etc., I'm going to come here and I'm going to bemoan it and I'm going to lecture you guys once again. Oh, he's not doing this again, is he? Really, Paul? Again? With the etc. Yes, etc. For God's sake, really matters to me. Oh, yeah. Before we go to the rise here momentarily, where are we? We're 17 minutes in. That's really not that bad. Momentarily, Jesus, I did not turn the lights off at the beginning like I normally do. Okay, still a learning experience. Before we go, I want to tell you about what I dreamt last night, and there's not much point to it. There's not as much detail since I've been eating marijuana edibles. It's just not as nice. So I was eating leftover food out of a take-out box. Yes, that's all I was doing. And I recall it being very good. Some of it was sweet, some of it was fried. And it's kind of like you get the freebie of binging food in your dream without the calories going to your fat middle-aged belly. Trust me, this I know. My mom was looking at me disapprovingly in my dream when I was looking at this take-out box. Why? I don't know. Mom wouldn't do that in real life. If I'm eating something, my mom would just be like, okay, you're eating it. That's fine. She wouldn't look at me disapprovingly for eating out of a take-out box and enjoying myself. So where does this dream come from? Is there any more deep meaning to it? I don't think so. I'm okay with my mom in this regard. I swear. Sometimes I just think dreams are random and they have no freaking point whatsoever. I am high energy today. There's no doubt about that. And so what I'm expecting is after this all goes down, I'm going to be all fucking tired and like beat, but I'm going to be like, yeah, I did a good show, even though I screwed up the lighting. Even though I screwed up the lighting in the beginning, it's not cool. So we are going to go to the rise here, my friends. And so I'm going to do it just like I do every time. I'm going to go beep, pop, and a boop. Rise, my friends. Here we are. Welcome to the show. As of late, enhanced by marijuana. I'm not entirely proud of that, just so that you know. I'm not like, I'm so cool for getting high. I'm not a person who thinks he's cool for getting high. I just think it adds to the flavor of life sometimes. Yes, sirree, Bob. Welcome to CopyWho. Bienvenue. This is the RISE. It is something I gratuitously stole from someone else, and now I keep it pour moi, pour moi, pour moi. Oh! Yes, I'm getting an awesome screenshot of some kind. Pull that out of there like that. Awesome screenshots! We love that. I'm actually really loving what I'm doing here, even though I have the momentary frustrations of things not working right sometimes. You know, you all can understand that sometimes things do not always go as planned, but you can see I'm juggling a lot here, right? That this is not some shallow shit. We will come off with that light. Everything's a little bit out of sorts. Is that the normal brightness on my face? I believe it is. And we are moving right along. I will flavor this really quick. I want to flavor the water. I'm still bumming. So it's like I've done a pretty good job filling time here. I'm going to have some good clips from this, I think, this particular show over the weekend that I'll cut out. But I can't believe I forgot to be flashing the light properly when we started this. At the very top of the show, I have this whole idea for a pattern in mind. Because I was thinking about the laser, I was not thinking about the lights, and I want to add that ambiance when we're starting, and I just wanted to change like that. So a lot of things are a little spacey, but hopefully the clips will turn out good. Yeah. The burps are a regular part of this as well. That doesn't matter whether there's marijuana or not. I will always come on here and burp. Nothing will change my mind. If Tucker Carlson's on here with me someday, God willing, if God wants, I will burp. Because burping is cool. And that's straight from Howard Stern University. And I feel like it's human just to talk normally and burp and belch in between. Right. So this is going to be fucking ridiculous right now. I'm 21 minutes in. My little produced piece that I have to play for you guys is called Marijuana Radio Retro Theater. Marijuana Radio Retro Theater. Occasionally I might be taking clips from that just so people can have an idea of what I've done in my past, what I've evolved into. And it was literally just creative inspiration doing that this week. So it's a pleasure of mine to present that to you guys because I'm proud of my work. Let's get some screenshots with this in my hand, shall we? I swear this is not going to be the norm. What's in this little box right here? What have we in this box? Would we like to imagine what we have in this box? In some states, it's very highly illegal. In some countries, a mere molecule of this stuff will get you arrested and thrown into some prison, Gestapo, boot camp, whatever the hell it is. Concentration camp is what I meant to say. Death camp for marijuana, death camp for THC. What is it in here, you're wondering? And I agree. What we're wondering is, so I'm going to take a little bit of this right now. And the funny thing is, I only have about half an hour, a little over half an hour left on the show. It's not likely I will be feeling this before the show is over. But if I do, I'm going to report it to you. And you'll notice it in my performance. And I'm not going to make this a habit every time. Or am I? Well, eventually, the marijuana is going to cycle its way out, and it's not going to be part of this show. I'm feeling particularly comfortable with the way I'm flowing today, and so that's a good thing. So this I got from a little dispensary. I don't remember what the name of the dispensary is. It says Coda on here. I wonder what that means. It says THC. This is 10 nanograms of THC here. Let me take it out and show you, okay? Milk chocolate. It tastes like a Nestle bar. I want to get some screenshots of this. That right there. Get some screenshots of this. Hold on. We might as well go into cool character for doing this, okay? Get some screenshots with the weed. Get some screenshots with the weed. Right. Let's really up the ante on this. It's actually melting in my fingers, I think. And I don't want to have sticky fingers right now. But I am going to consume it right now. So I'm going to do this again. With the glasses on, I'm going to hold this in my hand and say, what's this? What's this, everybody? What's this, everybody? Screenshots. It's 10 nanograms of marijuana that I'm going to take right now. You, all of you who know me out there, I do whatever the hell I want. And if you have disapproval, voice it in a nice way and know that I understand that my life is weird and it has been immeasurably enriched by marijuana, and it has also been at times super burdened by marijuana, depending on how you're looking at my history, thinking about the topic. I might not be a guitar player. I might not have gone down the creative path that I did nearly in the same way without marijuana. The amount of marijuana I have consumed in the pursuit of creativity in my adult life cannot be underestimated. And so that's what we're doing here today. So here is this 10 milligrams of marijuana right here being consumed by me at this very moment, used against me by the family court, but whatever. I have no kids around. I would like to. Yeah. So there it is. We're chewing it up right in your ear. And I don't think you can hear it the same way you can hear Pearl chowing down chips or whatever the hell it is. I want to make it as annoying and gratuitous as possible and reference others that are very unprofessional in their approach. But the thing is, they're making a faux pas because they're being lazy and sloppy. And I turn it into satire, which is different. And it's not very good satire. All right, so we're going to proceed right at this moment. I want to finally show you this Oh, what? What? This retarded. Okay, I knew this might very well happen, so I have to make this video. Oh, okay. And so this one, it'll play. One sec. I want to make sure I have the right one here. I put up 3 versions of this, and so I want to make sure. And so I had to go to the channel that I was on because I have it set to private. I haven't put it public yet. Hold on. We're almost there, people. We are going to go all in with this right now. And so I want to come here and go, what? Whoa. That did not click to that like I wanted it to. Let's come back and do that right because I insist on doing it right. I was saying I want to come over here like this and go zooming in like that. That's the way it's supposed to be mixed. And so we go back and we fix it. We learn to do it right so that we execute correctly every single solitary time. We are going to come off with the lights here a little bit. Get a little ambiance as we watch this together. I'm so proud of this work. Oh, my goodness. It's so silly. But, okay, so this is Marijuana. Marijuana Radio Retro Theater. I had it all. The world felt like it was my oyster. I was pretending to be upstanding, but I really wasn't. I had a nice glass pipe shop with a ton of bongs, with a pot-smoking habit to go right along with it. So far, this is very true. Look how much skinnier I am at this time. I'm always talking about that jawline on people, you know, as they get older. Keep that jawline. That's what keeps us looking young. I had more hair then, but I was definitely balding. Always varying degrees of said pot smoking being a problem. Hold on. What was that now, dude? Of said always varying along with it. There were always varying degrees of said pot smoking being a problem or not. It was 2010, and my podcast, Marijuana Radio, was number 14 in the iTunes Comedy Podcast rankings. One of my favorite achievements. Life was looking good on this day, and life felt abundant. For instance, take a look at this guy. I mean, he can tie his shoes okay, but he loves food. Look at him and his food. He's obsessed with food. He looks demonic when he's eating. He could be helpful sometimes too. This one, though, always seemed to make me feel suspect. Like, am I doing something wrong? It's okay. I was a pretty odd guy in my leadership role. I'd push a little bit and the kids would push back. I rarely wanted to... hold on. I'm coming back here. What I want to say about McKenna is, I say a couple things about her in this little video here, and... They're not kind to her, but I'm entirely joking because what I'm going to say is she was wonderful to work with. She was very accommodating, very professional, very creative, very special, singular person, this person here. And that's the honest to God truth. Okay, I was a pretty odd guy in my leadership role. I'd push a little bit and the kids would push back.
I rarely wanted to punch Brent in the face, but it was always my study in martial arts that helped me keep cool. Look at this guy.
Right, so that is bullshit right there. What is true here is this part right here, okay? Yes, I was very temperamental and I was kind of a menace, and that's probably why the thing came crashing down to an end. But you got to go after people who are trying to destroy all your hard work. Trust me, I'm really meaning what I'm saying right now. If someone's trying to fuck your shit up, you need to fuck that person up on some level. Don't go breaking the law, don't hurt someone, don't go to jail, but, you know, don't stand for it. Keep going, buddy.
Brand in the face, but it was always my study in martial arts that helped me keep cool. Look.
Okay, so yes, I have studied martial arts, but I'm playing the card there humorously with dry humor, saying like it actually keeps me more cool when it's hardly played a role in my life when it comes to staying cool. That's just a total joke right there. And so this is about Brent. This next part's about Brent.
In martial arts that helped me keep cool. Look at this guy. At his age, he was some kind of comedy archetype. It's as if he was a young Jim Belushi. Not without his own Jim Belushi-isms. I had my...
Oh, excuse me. Just wanting to point out here, when I say Jim Belushi, okay, I was thinking the joke I want to say is, yes, I really meant Jim Belushi, not the brother John, who was really the meteoric guy. But the truth is, I meant to say John there, but then the joke becomes, yeah, I meant to say Jim, not as good. But the truth is, he is that good. He's another very special singular person that I had the blessing of working with. But let's keep listening, shall we?
Look at this guy.
Oh.
At his age, he was some kind of comedy archetype. It's as if he was a young Jim Belushi. Not without his own Jim Belushi-isms. I had my own pot-smoking habit to contend with, and it was a long time before I realized it was a problem. These guys, though.
Yeah.
Look at them. We
Dream
were the dream
team.
team. And even with McKenna's diva attitude and her mood flipping on a dime, we were an irreverent bunch. A little over the top, but lovable. A special era. A moment in time. And it's never really gonna happen again. Not unless these two are willing to sit down with me on CopyWho. It could happen.
Come on
I
now.
want it to happen.
This is an
Doesn't
invite.
have to be marijuana radio.
It's giving me goosebumps. I love the music. I love the story I just told in that. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll come back over here. No, not here, you silly. Over here. And we'll turn the lights back on. What do we have? It says right. No, wear a suit. No, I decided against the suit. I told you, my phone reminded me to wear the suit. I tried the suit jacket on, and I was like, no. This because the shirt didn't look right with it. If I'm gonna wear the suit jacket, I got to get a shirt that goes right with it. And so when I told you I'm changing like Madonna, that was not a joke. Like I've become obsessed with every detail. So it's like, how am I dressing on the next show matters to me. And I have certain jackets, brown leather jackets that look cool, but I don't wear them on here because I've actually sat in front of the camera and gone, no, I don't like this. No, I don't like that. I have green jackets that look cool. But I'm like, the green doesn't go right. I do have a camouflage one that I've worn on here a few times, and that one looks kind of cool. I dig the camouflage one, but I don't like regular green shirts. I didn't wear a purple button-up shirt today. I'm going through all these fucking things like I'm a diva now, okay? I need to dress exceptionally well to do this. It's just everything has to be maximized. Okay, it's not a joke to me. Can you by any chance tell that I'm taking this all way too seriously? Oh, this is interesting. This was interesting, and this I won't speak about too long. So it's so irritating to me. What I have here is a... let me take you to it really quickly. What I have here is a video interview of Eddie Van Halen and his brother Alex. I think they are being interviewed in the Netherlands. Yes, and they're speaking Dutch, and I'm fucking pissed off about it. You're like, what? Let's just hear a little bit of these guys speaking Dutch, and I'll tell you what my problem is with you speaking Dutch, and we'll get serious about it.
Alex van Halen. Jullie komen uit Nederland, hè? Oh, film maar.
Hoe gaat het, Kees?
Oh, they're all
Jullie zijn in Nederland
smiles.
geboren?
Why does all their happiness make me
Hier in
nervous?
Amsterdam. We hebben in Nijmegen opgegroeid.
En wanneer zijn jullie geëmigreerd?
Ongeveer 10, 11 jaar geleden.
Oh, this bothers me
vader
so
en
much.
moeder wou in het land van de
Hold
sinaasappels
on.
wonen, of de zon, weet je wel.
Son, I guess son is the same. He looks like Daryl Hazelrig. I meant to tell Daryl that from Eric and Daryl Live that in addition to Tim Roth looking like Daryl, I think Alex Van Halen looks like Daryl. If you bleached his hair blonde and streaked it straight back, I'd say that's another Daryl clone right there. But anyway, onward. What I want to say about this is, well, actually, let's just hear a little bit more of it. These guys talking in it's not their mother tongue. I think their mother tongue would be English because they grew up here predominantly in this environment. But they're very fluent sounding, but I have a problem with it. But let me continue really quick, showing you the sound of it.
En jullie vader zit ook in de muziek, hè?
Ja, toen we hier woonden speelde hij met Jos Kleber en Snip en Snap en op verschillende muzikanten. En toen we hier woonden, Alex en ik allebei begonnen al piano te spelen. Dus toen we naar de US zijn.
So I never, before hearing this video, I knew these guys were from the Netherlands. I knew their parents were Dutch. I never knew they were so fluent. I'm not super surprised that they're so fluent in this tongue. But I'm really bothered by it, okay? First of all, you came here to the United States. I'm smiling because I know I'm so fucking ridiculous. You came here to the United States to become American citizens, and you didn't renounce that shit. You need to renounce that shitty-ass language, okay? And this only goes for Dutch. Your language sounds rough. It sounds guttural. It doesn't sound nice. It doesn't sound pleasing to the ear. Now, I realize I'm biased because I grew up speaking English. And I don't know if Dutch is a derivative of English or English is a derivative of Dutch. Whatever. I don't like the sound of it is what I'm saying, okay? So when you come to the United States and you have to renounce your loyalties, I think if it's not a romance language, listen to me carefully here. If it's not a romance language, you need to renounce your stupid foreign tongue, especially when it's Dutch. We need to specifically be prejudiced against the Dutch language, not against the people. I have no problem with the people. I'm just saying that you need to institute romance languages in the Netherlands. It doesn't matter which one. It could be Spanish. It could be Portuguese, Italian, French. It could be freaking Latin. All these would be better choices than this drivel I hear coming from these guys' mouths. I don't like the sound of Dutch, is all I'm saying. And I have nothing against the Dutch people. Nothing! You have my heartfelt wishes that you will prosper and be a wonderful country, a wonderful people, well-fed, healthy, with longevity, quality of life, in every respect. But get rid of that fucking language. I can't stand hearing these guys. I feel like they're traitors to my country for speaking this language in an interview. You should have said no, because you know why? Because I think Van Halen. I hear Van Halen and I think, yeah, American band. Woo! And so when people are like, what is cool about America? I think Van Halen. I think Metallica. Even though Metallica's drummer is like an import. You know what I mean? Very American attitude. And I guess I got to give music credit for transcending national borders and stuff. I must say, we're filling up the water right now. I don't think we're going to play any more of this rubbish, but it sounds like, let me see if I can do some impressions of it really quick, actually, before I give up on this crazy thing I'm talking about right now. It's like meaningless intellectually, but I'm goofing around here. I'm having a good time, in case you couldn't tell. This is supposed to be therapeutic and uplifting, so let's keep going with this, shall we?
Verhuisd, begonnen we.
Verhuisd, begonnen we.
En jullie hebben vrij hard gewerkt voordat jullie eindelijk succes hadden, hè? Maar het succes kwam wel in één keer. Ja. Vertel eens wat over.
We hadden ongeveer voor 5 jaar gespeeld. Dus de clubs.
Clubs, and then you say those English 5 clubs, and 5 Van Halen.
Weddings, overal waar we konden spelen. Met de band, hoe het nu
band,
is.
so band is the same word, and you distinctly hear them like as if they're speaking English when they say those English words. And to be honest with you, I feel like I can hear a tiny bit of an accent, an English accent, an American accent, over the top of their Dutch speaking. And I think so. You guys should just do as I say. Just get rid of the Dutch language. We don't want to hear it. You traitors. No fun. You guys are no fun. I'm going to move on from this now, though. I've said enough about it. I was going to say I want to go back and imitate them more, but I just need to keep moving. I need to keep this train rolling, people. Because, I don't know, what do we have here? 40 minutes. I have 2/3 of this show done, and I have to keep going. Somehow, this is kind of interesting, too. So I'm pleased to see that I'll open this up really quick and zap that over there. And I have this whole way of doing things, and I'm still working it out in some respects. All right. And I do like that harp sound going over that. But this is kind of interesting. I'm not going to play this whole video, but I do have some comments on some of the things they were saying.
I don't like when the government or whoever, these corrupt TV channels try to cancel somebody. I'm like, I want to hear from him now.
Yeah.
And so he was the number one guy. Now they don't.
Forbidden fruit always tastes sweeter. So they're talking about the firing of Tucker Carlson from Fox. They made such a big deal out of it. I don't know how it couldn't be a big deal. So it's almost like you wind up shooting yourself in the foot. He's like got a better reach now. So you're not paying him, but he has a bigger reach with the truth that you wanted to keep out of the eyes and ears of the public. And so you fired Tucker Carlson, which was not very smart. It made him like 1,000 times bigger. And it's like, so I want to say I trust Tucker Carlson, but I know he has some elitist ties in his background. But I want to hear more what these guys have to say. I don't want to just give you my spiel based on 2 seconds of that. I'll keep playing this because they do make me want to say some things about it.
Anybody to hear his voice.
And everybody wants to hear his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bad move on their part. But I think it was a business move. If I had to guess, someone that was one of their sponsors.
Yeah, it was a business
or someone
move.
that owns a piece was very upset with his positions that he was taking.
So positions, you're talking about positions. Joe, was it specifically something to do with the truth of something? And I'm sure it dealt with a lot of things. Yeah, fucking sponsors are a big deal. So you're making your money from the sponsors and you can't necessarily step on their feet. But when you're in the business of news to tell the truth and supposedly that's your reason for in it, you're supposed to want to elevate the public consciousness. Yeah. With a burp, that's what I'm doing here. You want to elevate the public consciousness, and so presumably you would think that supposedly Fox News has a vested interest in the truth. And I would rather the truth take priority over the money coming in. Like there should be plenty of monetary compensation for putting the truth out there. And you shouldn't have to make the truth a tragic victim by not letting people hear certain thoughts and ideas, especially when it's the truth. When the truth is not allowed, you really got to worry about that. And Fox News, I've been saying for a long time, it's become something quite different. They're like lip service to thoughts and ideas. They're not really committed behind it. Some of their pundits might be, and they might even toot their own horn thinking they're special on there and they're doing good because they're putting the idea out there. But when you're on the format, Fox News, when that's like your platform, I think you're only being honest if you say that, if you acknowledge that they have a biased interest in their business. So yeah, it's a business decision, Joe. It's partly business, it's partly elitist because they're trying to cultivate a false narrative in people's minds all the time on some level, or at least slowly move them towards believing something different. So whatever conservative is today, it evolves and becomes something entirely different. By the way, what I will say is the reason Tucker Carlson is so popular and the reason Joe Rogan is so popular and the reason Alex Jones is so popular, the reason they're all popular is because they because human beings are starved for the truth. So if you get a show elevated in society where you're very prominent and well known, and if you're being truthful, I think people are going to flock to it because people are desperate for the truth. They want to know the truth. We're tired of being deceived. And I think that's what's happening here. So Fox News, for all their good lip service, is still taking part in deception with some extremely important things. And so I'm not happy about it. And I would like to be more specific. I don't think I have to debate the specific political details in order to point that out and have people who are intellectually honest go, yeah, I think pretty much Paul is spot on this one. I am. I think that the truth matters and people are starving for the truth. Keep talking, guys. I've only heard 30 seconds of this and I've heard myself for minutes and minutes. It's like they say something and my mind goes, boom. It's like the bullet points I talk about when I write them down on paper. A bullet point sets my brain on fire and I roll with the fire and let the fire burn out on everything I think. Come on.
Very controversial positions about a lot of things, including the intelligence agencies. The fucking guy out and out said CIA killed Kennedy on Fox News.
Who, he did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson out and out said the CIA.
See, I trust that guy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why, but I trust him. I want to hear from him. And it's
I trust him more than I trust Don Lemon.
Yeah.
Well, the truth has a certain ring to it. And God Almighty, boy, do I agree with what he just said about trusting Tucker Carlson more than Don Lemon. Don Lemon is the meat puppet of meat puppets if I've ever seen one in my entire life. Total meat puppet, that guy. Can't stand him. I'm not even going to justify it. It's just like what I just said about the truth ringing true and being attracted to the truth. I'm repelled by lies, by obvious deception, by people who are obviously meat puppets instead of like when you're in the position of you're supposed to be informing me. You're doing editorial instead. You're not giving me the information and letting me process it myself. I just constantly feel manipulated in this society right now.
I don't know if, I don't know him. I don't know what he's actually like. But Ranella loved having him on the show.
Dude, Ranell, I think maybe you're referring to your producer, but I was about to say I would love it. I would subscribe to Spotify if you got Tucker Carlson on, and I would want it. That's something I would want to hear, honest to God. I'm surprised you guys haven't linked up because there's some overlap in the truths you're telling and the things you're getting in hot controversial shit for, which is not fair. When it's the truth, when it's the lie, it should be controversial. It should not be the truth that's controversial, and it's not the truth that should be censored. And you can't, oh my God, I can just go down a rabbit hole and never stop talking about this. I need to move on. I need to keep rolling with this.
He's like, people that were like ideologically opposed to him, who worked with Ranella, when they did the media, they're like, fuck, I hate to say it, I really like the guy.
Tulsi said he's a great guy. He goes, you guys would get along.
I bet you would.
And so that's...
Get that motherfucker to run up the mountain.
It's just frustrating.
To be honest with you, they're mentioning people like Tulsi Gabbard saying Tucker's a nice person. When I hear that, I'm inclined to believe he's really a nice person. I want to believe he's a nice person. I want to believe he's not lip service. But in my case, in my defense, this is just cynicism manifest in me from what I see in society. I have like turned my back on a lot of secular shitty qualities in society, and I want nothing to do with them. And I used to be all about wanting to be part of that system. I would have been like, yes, Hollywood, I'll do anything to make it here. But now that and at that time, wanting that to express things creatively and have it recognized in that Hollywood venue, I suppose you could say that I wasn't aware of I just wasn't keenly aware like I am in my older, more mature life right now. Like 22 years ago when I was in Hollywood looking at going there, living there to forge a creative path, I was there during 9/11 when that happened. I did not realize about Hollywood at that time, the insidious impact it has on the minds of people, all the manipulation, the superficiality. I wasn't mature enough to get it because I was too enticed by the idea of fame. And I don't know. So fame and vanity. look what I'm doing here. All this stuff around me. This is something I've been asking myself. They've been bringing up vanity sometimes in the church where I go, and I love listening to the pastor there. He's brilliant, and I'm like, damn it, if it's like, look what I'm doing here. This is totally the picture of vanity. Like every aspect of the visual has to be perfect. I'm talking about going and changing my clothes and looking just right, but there's the creative. So it's not just vanity, it's creative. It's like creating a compelling visual, stimulating people mentally, physically, visually, audibly. It all matters to me. They're all an art form, and I'm combining them all here to be this. So like it's the picture of vanity. Okay, I actually I only listened to 1 minute and 18 seconds of this, and it was me talking most of the time, but it's actually really not a bad clip. I'm going to cut out of it here, and we're going to go to the next thing, which is actually Rollo. I'm at 50 minutes. I have 10 minutes, and and it's not like I don't have a tiny bit of wiggle room, but I'm pleased to have made it this far, and I feel like I've filled it up with kind of good moments, silly moments, and I don't know. Does anyone have an opinion? Leave me a comment. Did this suck? This show today? Was it cool? Do you have any comment? I will gladly engage with people who want to talk to me. I'm going to try to be there tonight during the premiere of this. If anyone's around wanting to hang out, hopefully I will be in the chat as well, even though it's not going to be a live show. I want to move you over to this now. Rollo Tomato. I like to call him Rollo Tomato. Hold on, we get this right. Little rough, the mix today. A couple things are off, but it's an okay show by and large. Talk to us, Rollo. What have you to say? Esteem us with amazing insight about the topic of hypergamy.
False equivalencies. This is what people want to sort of like pick and pull red pill out of false equivalencies here. I've read this to you guys before as part of the misconceptions that people have when it comes to hypergamy. But false equivalencies is primarily this. And I drag this out of a few different people, but there used to be.
I can't read that, dude.
Blog back in the days.
What you put this graphic up for why? Okay, if I zoom in on it, maybe I can read it, but no one will be able to read it on my screen. People confuse optimization with hypergamy. Both men and women optimize, meaning they want the best they can get of anything and everything. Is that true about every woman? Actually, keep going, because what you say here makes me think something otherwise based upon that idea I just read there.
And I think one of the things that really kind of confounds a lot of guys is the idea that that hypergamy is a straitjacket, first off, but second of all, it's they don't understand the hierarchy of.
What do you mean when you say hypergamy?
They would rather. It's more.
When you say hypergamy is a straitjacket, what exactly do you mean by that? That it's inescapable, like the idea that women want to go and get better all the time, find a better man, because they weren't doing that. Like when divorce was very like taboo, they were not doing that. They were staying in the marriage. More women were, and maybe to their detriment. I'm not saying it wasn't the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. Everyone's circumstances are unique. Keep going, Rollo.
Comfortable. It's easier. It feels better. Tastes better to believe in what's called assortative mating, meaning that an 8 gets with an 8, and a 7 gets with a 7, and a 5 gets with a 5, and a da da da. That's not how it works. Yeah, that's not how women's attraction cues work. Women want, and why would it? Because that would work. I should say this: that assortative mating, meaning like if the guy's an 8 and the girl's an 8, then they'll more likely get together. Like people who look.
I remember what you're leading toward here, and that's interesting. But it's interesting. It's what's this is making me think about is how people. So like when a woman who's an 8 gets with a guy who's a 4 or something like that. Why does that happen? How does that happen? Is it because he's overcompensating with certain things like wealth? and money and stuff like that.
People who are of the same sexual market value tend to like attract somebody who is at the same sexual market value. This is false. And I'll tell you why it's false, because women who
I was going to say that sounds logical, but then you say it's false. Do tell, why is it false, Rollo? I feel like calling you Rollo Tomato from now on. TRT, bro, Rollo Tomato.
Women, but primarily women who rate themselves as being like less attractive than their husbands tend to be in more stable marriages, tend to be in situations that are really, I mean, you think about it.
No, that's very interesting. Is that because of humility? Is this a woman who's attractive, but she's very humble about her looks, as opposed to just thinking she's totally hot shit? Does it derive somewhere from there, like what I'm suggesting?
As far as the relationship is concerned, healthy relationships. There was an article I did, or an essay I did. It was called, sexual market value ratios. And so I did like a 1-to-1 ratio would be like a 5 for a 5, a 4 for a 4, 6 for 6, right? And it would be across the board. The problem is that that's kind of a false equivalency, because women are never looking for a lateral move. They're looking for a better than deserved move. They're looking for somebody
aren't men doing that too? Like, I don't want to marry a woman who's like beneath me. Who wants to settle? I've always said, like, settling is bad. What I'm hearing him say is something that brings to mind the idea of settling, getting with someone. I mean, like, I have settled, and every time I've settled in my life, it's wound up being a bad deal for me. The result, the manifestation of where life goes. It goes back to this saying my grandfather used to say to my father, and I might have said it on here before: hang out with people who are better than you, and then you can only become better. So if you aspire to marry someone better than you, then it's going to elevate you. And I know this from being in relationships too, that in the past, there are a couple of women in my life who I was so into them, lock, stock, and barrel, so into the idea of being with them that I was all about improving myself. And one of those was truly unrequited. And in order to get away from her, I had to go and build my value in another place, and that wound up being playing guitar. That's true. That's something true I'm telling you about myself. So, but why shouldn't any man or woman on either side of this equation in marriage, or gay people, whatever it is, you should aspire to be with someone who is better than you are, and not so that you're in this subservient role feeling diminished, but so that you aspire to be better, so that inspires you to grow. I think I'm making great points here. I don't think it's totally shallow, but you know what I need to do? It's unfortunately that time, ladies and gentlemen. I have actually gone my hour, and I've done a reasonably good job, and I'm pleased with what? This doesn't make any sense. I've never had this screen lose connection with the lights the way that it just did. But what I'm going to do here for you now is I'm going to go a beep, a pop, a boop. We're going to wrap it up like this with a little bit of mood. Do you understand? Every one of you made it this far. I'm so grateful. I hope you won't judge me in my journey for the marijuana, because I am going to get off of it eventually, and I will be telling you that I'm off of it. And I'm not going to lie about it. I just took 10 nanograms during the show now. That's uncommon for me. If you're worried about me, you should always be worried about me. If you like the show, I appreciate you liking the videos, sharing the videos, telling your friends, play it in the background when you're doing stuff at work and at home. Check out the Clips channel at CopyWho Clips. I always mean it when I say peace be with you all. THC. We went our hour. It wasn't too bad. I think it could probably be better still. Of course it can be better.